Alright, I guess we're live now. So, welcome to the stream. Uh, Hope you guys are having a good day. Yep, Coolster, you're first. So welcome, this is Video Boy, and welcome to the series finale of this basic space game that we're doing for the tutorial series. So this is technically episode 18. And we're going to be doing it live. I don't know how long it's going to be, probably 45 minutes or maybe an hour. If you guys notice any lag or anything like that, please let me know. I'll try to fix it. I can kind of monitor myself, see what's going on, but I never really know what it's exactly like on your guys' end. So if anything's going on, please let me know. So yeah, I have a little to-do list of some stuff I want to add personally. If you guys read the comments, not the comments, the description, you'll see that you can give suggestions for what you guys want to do for the next tutorial series. I'll put it as an option in the straw poll. If you guys don't know what a straw poll is, it's like a website where I can create a poll and then you guys can vote on it live. And then at the end of the stream we'll do a vote. And if you have any ideas for like polish related stuff to add to this game, the space game, just please suggest it and I'll give you guys credit for any suggestions you guys make that I end up using. And just let's overall just have fun. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make the asteroids a bit bigger. So if we look at it now, the asteroids are really small, and I don't know. Well, I guess we're gonna have to make the explosions bigger as well. Yeah, let's try to die. I want to see something. Alright, well there was an explosion for the player, so I guess I'll add that also. Alright, so let's just do that. Okay, so go into core, entities, and asteroid. Okay, so let's just make sure. Okay, we're actually gonna have to add width and height into the draw for the asteroid. So it's not just used for collisions and stuff. We're actually going to use it for rendering them. And let's just make them double the size. Well, actually 4 times the size. See what that looks like. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Just make sure the collisions work properly. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, and the explosions are kind of small. Whoops. For these big asteroids, so let's just make those a bit bigger as well. Okay, I just use size for it, which makes sense. I should probably do that for the asteroids too, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, and let's make it a bit bigger. Let's do like 64. By the way, there might be a little bit of noise, but that shouldn't be for too long. Whoops. Oh, okay, so this is actually causing an error for us. Alright, let's see why it's doing that. Oh, it's because the image isn't big enough. Okay. So we're going to have 2 size variables, then that means. So public static final int, just do like image size, and we'll use that as 32. And then we're going to have to put image size into size here. And I think that should be good. Yeah, there you go. They're much bigger now. Alright, cool. So first thing off the list. Next thing I want to do is I want to add some sort of, well, as you can see there already is, but I wanted to make it so that the user or the player can see the controls for the game, and then after they start interacting with it, the controls will disappear. So right now, if we're testing for mobile, we're clicking on the screen. You can see the controls. It says like left and right, and there's a red and blue, but I want that to disappear. after they're they know how the controls work. So okay. So let's just go to the main game screen. Alright, the stream seems to be doing pretty well. Okay. So let's add a boolean. Call it show controls. So we're going to also have it for desktop. There's also going to show some controls, basically like use left right arrow keys to move and shoot kind of thing. And we'll set that to true to start out with. Okay, so let's go to the render where we actually draw this. Where do we draw it? Oh, okay, here. So this is where we draw the controls. Let's actually do a comment. Draw controls instructions. Okay, and let's create a new if here. So we'll call it show controls. Okay. So if we want to show the controls, we'll draw that. And that's for mobile. And if it's not mobile, let's draw some other stuff. So let's create a glyph layout. And we'll call it instructions layout. It's equal to new glyph layout. Now I could say on the mobile thing that when you move you shoot, but the thing is, as soon as they start moving and they understand how to do that, they're going to see that they're also going to start shooting. So it kind of works out in the end. Oh, it looks like the stream lagged a little bit for a second. Alright, it's getting back to normal. Wasn't too bad, it seems. I guess I'll just use score font. And the text will be, I don't know, press left, right arrow keys to shoot. We're probably going to have to do some sort of wrapping. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay. I don't know how bad it is. I guess like you say, probably 10 seconds. There's also a bit of lag. I had a bit of drop frames there for a little bit, like 3 seconds worth of drop frames. Alright, and then use game.batch. What do we put here? X and Y. Let's just do space game dot width divided by 2 minus instructions layout dot width divided by 2. So that's going to center it. And then for the height, let's just do 100. Now we're actually going to add some parameters here. No, I can't do that. That kind of sucks. I'll have to create a new glyph layout just to see what the parameters look like. I need one with wrapping. Okay, there you go. So let's use that one. Let's add those arguments. Alright, so color dot white. We just want white. The width, we'll do like space game dot width minus 50. H align, so align dot, let's just do left because we're already doing the calculation to center it, so we don't want that to mess around with us. and set the wrap to true. Okay, so it won't do a difference on mobile, but let's make it so that we don't force mobile here. Okay, there you go. So let's show some instructions. Let's push it up a little bit higher. So say 150 sounds alright. Let's see what happens if we do align dot center here. There you go, that's much nicer. Okay, so I guess it didn't really interfere with it. Alright, so now we need to actually make it so that when we start doing the controls and start moving or whatever, that the instructions go away, because we don't want the instructions to be displayed all the time. So basically what we can do is, as soon as they start moving right or left, where is it? Yeah, here you go. Is right or is left. So basically the shoe timer is going to be good from the start. So we can pretty much in here just set show controls to false. So like stop showing controls when a shot has been shot, I guess you can say. So now if we run the game, looks like nothing's happening. But then as soon as it starts shooting, then we remove the controls, and it's the same for mobile as well. So let's go back into force mobile mode and draw it. Yeah, so it gives them a little chance, even if they've been clicking on the button to go into that menu for a little too long, there's still a little bit of time before it actually switches. So it isn't probably the proper way to do it, but it kind of works well, I think. I guess the good way to do it would be if you check if they let go of the screen, but I think this is fine. Okay, so that's done. Next thing I want to add is like the game over screen. Here, let's just go back. Oh, I shouldn't be shooting those things. I guess it kind of shoot when you move, which is almost overpowered, but we should actually, I'm gonna add to the list. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna add to the list, make a game harder. Because it's a little easier right now. Alright, so what I want to do next also is when you hover over the things in the game over menu, nothing really happens. It doesn't really feel natural. It just looks like some text there. You can't really tell what it's actually doing. So let's go over to, let's close all those classes we aren't using. Go to the game over screen and let's add that. Okay, so you get the touch X and the touch Y here, and then we have the try again layout and the main menu layout already here. So I already kind of planned ahead because I knew I wanted to do this. So it's already defined here. So basically what we got to do, let's move these a little higher up. Okay, so as I showed you guys before, there's also a color parameter in the glyph layout, so you can set the color. When we were creating the other glyph layout with the wrap. So we can actually change the color depending on if they're hovering or not. So let's just do a condition for that. Actually, we're going to need the... Actually, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Because the thing is that we need the glyph layout initialized so we can tell the width and height of the string. But we also need to change its color afterwards, so we're probably going to have to completely reinitialize it, which kind of sucks because glyph layout, you don't have access to the actual color. Oh, you could set the text with a new color. So yeah, let's do that instead. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's create the conditions here. So we're gonna say if touch X is more than or equal to try again layout. Oh, we need the X and Y of the try again. That's right, and those are here, so that's fairly easy to do. So let's just copy this down. So I kind of planned a little bit ahead. I knew I wanted to do that. Try again X and touch X is less than try again layout.width. So we get the width from the layout because it calculates it. And try touch Y is more than or equal to try again Y, and touch Y is less than try again layout.height. Actually, we need to add the try again Y to the width and also the X. Okay, so basically this condition, let's write a comment, checks if hovering over try again button. Very simple. And then all we need to do now is set the color. So we're going to have to use this whole constructor again. But that's not too big of a deal. So try again layout.set text. Alright, and then the font we use is score font. The string was try again, so we want to make sure we use the same string and font, or else it's not going to be the same size as we originally calculated. Okay, so if it is hovering, you set the color to yellow. Target width, I think if we do 0 it's going to ignore it. And then align.left and wrap false. Okay, we can remove these braces here. And let's just be a little bit lazy here. So I showed you guys the Control F thing. Let's just use that here. So replace try again with main menu. Of course it's not going to work perfectly, but actually it might work perfectly. Yeah, everything looks good except for the text here. That's fine. Which we just had the text to main menu. Alright, let's test it out now. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so let's have our ship die here. It's kind of hard to get it to die. We kind of just have to wait for the asteroids to fall on us. Ah, yes. There's this thing. I forgot about that. Alright. So, like we discussed in an episode previously, man, there's actually a lot of frames dropping right now. Okay, I'm going to have to start watching out for that a little more. So like we discussed in a previous episode, the glyph layout draws from the top left rather than the bottom left. So we need to adjust our collision calculation accordingly. So we just need to change the Y's. So we need to check if touch Y is less than that touch Y, and that's more than the touch Y minus the height instead. I think that should work. Yeah, most likely. Okay, so since it's drawing from the top left, we need to make sure that the Y of where the person's hovering, they're not necessarily touching, where they're hovering is less than the y of try again y. So when we draw it, it's drawn from the top left, which is the top right. Top right, which is the top. I did right at the end as like a confirmation, but it doesn't really work in this case. So yeah, we're checking if it's less than the y, because the y is where it's drawn from the top. And then we're making sure that it's also more than where it's being drawn from minus its height. Oops. So that should work now. Alright. Hardest part is trying to die in this game. Yeah, I guess that's probably what's happening, Coolster. Keep calling you Coolster, but JT Gamer. Alright, there you go, now it's working. Sweet. Alright, okay, so next thing on the to-do list is to actually make the game harder. So I have something else that I already wrote down before, but it's just if we have enough time, and I'm pretty sure we will in the end. But I just want to make the game harder first. And the other thing I had was to add an actual game logo. So I would go on GIMP and make something. I don't know what I'd make. Yeah, it's weird that it says the stream is lagging, but it's really not. Like it says I have 325 drop frames, which is almost like 11 seconds worth of frames, because I'm doing this at 30 frames per second. So like 11 seconds of downtime. I guess it's just dropping a frame here or there, so you don't really notice it. But alright, so let's make the game harder. So let's go back to the main game screen. And I think to do it, it's really not that hard. You just have to make them spawn faster. So let's set the minimum one to 0.1, and then the max, let's do it 0.3. They're immediately going to see that they're going to start spawning way faster. Honestly, this isn't even fast enough. Still very easy. I'm still losing health, but that's just because I'm not being careful. I'm just testing and... yeah. Oh, okay. No, I don't want to do 0.2. Let's just do like 1.5 and then 0.5 for the minimum. Why are they so slow? Oh, right, it was never at 1 second's a lot of time. But hold on, I'm gonna undo until I get back to the way it was. Okay, so 0.5, and then we'll set this to 1. Oh my goodness. It's still kind of easy. You just kind of camp in a corner here in a little spot. Kind of have to keep moving, but you kind of don't want to hit the asteroids too while you move, so that's kind of tricky. Like I'm actually trying right now and I'm not doing very well. Oh, there you go. You died. Also, the collision isn't pixel perfect, as you guys probably noticed. So yeah, that's one thing we can fix. That's a much harder calculation, like calculating like a circle shaped object colliding with a rectangle or like a square shaped object. That's way more complicated. So we're not going to deal with that. I've done it in Archipelago for things like interacting with other entities. I don't know if you guys remember, like in Archipelago, if you go up to another player or something and then you press the interact button, which I guess is I think X, it does like it does like a message that says like, oh, you've interacted with this player. So yeah, that uses circles, but let's just not do it for this game. It's a little bit complicated for calculation. Maybe we'll do it in the next game. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I made the game harder. That's successful. Very easy to do. And let's just make a logo now. Okay. I don't know what size I'll do it. Actually, I forgot to get my drawing pad, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, it seems like a good width, I guess. We're gonna have to resize anyways within the game. Yeah, it should be fine. Actually, no, I want to make it a bit higher. $350. Okay. So I guess we're just gonna call this game, I don't know, Space Game. Let's just stick with that name because it's really nice and simple. And yeah, cool to see you're pretty excited about GIMP. Yeah, I kind of like GIMP. I'm starting to learn Photoshop because it's considered the more professional one, and yeah, there is a lot of cool stuff you can do in Photoshop, but personally, just for doing quick edits, I prefer GIMP, and I used to use Paint.net. And for pixel art, I use Pixel. I can Pixel Edit. I'll show you guys that later, I guess, if you want to see it. Okay, so let's do something like the actual buttons in the game. I think that'd be pretty cool. I kind of like these buttons. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you hover over it, it's actually a different pattern on the letters. If you look at the black outline, it changes when you hover. I kind of like that. It's because I reran the algorithm to add the patterns for each one, so it kind of made a nice effect. I think it looks kind of cool. But I'm thinking more like a blocky kind of thing. I don't want to do this like hairy kind of stuff. So I'll just do something decently simple and blocky. So as you guys probably know, the font I use is Press Start. Actually, you guys probably do know that because of the glyph layout episode. And let's just write a message that was Space Game. I have to change the background. Change this to black. And center it. So this is not really like a GIMP tutorial or anything. Just kind of show you guys the little process I do for making logos and stuff for episodes, and also thumbnails too, or things like that. Okay, so it's kind of centered. That looks good. Let's actually make the background color something different. Something that, yeah, I like using this magenta color for backgrounds for testing. We can just remove it afterwards. Let's expand that. Move it a little bit too. Alright, so let's add a background. So the way I do that, not a background, but like kind of a shadow. Actually, I need to hold on, I have to undo a little bit, get it back to the state where it's still text layer, because I need to add here. Okay, there you go, because they're kind of touching. Don't want that. Does that look centered? Sure, that's good enough, I think. No, let's move it. Moved it before. So. Okay, that looks good. Add image size. Okay, so the way that I do the shadows, it's very simple. So basically I create two layers of the text. I shrink the one on the top. And then I take the color I want for the shadow. I use the color select tool, so it selects all the colors everywhere in the canvas the same color. Use the paint bucket tool, fill a whole selection so that it turns out all black. And then after that, I just use the move tool and I just move it down a little bit and I add back that color. And let's remove the selection. There you go. So that looks kind of neat, I think. Let's blur the background a little bit. So go into filters, do a little bit of a Gaussian blur. There you go. That looks cool. The thing is, though, the background of the game is black anyways, so it doesn't really work super well. Actually, what we could do, I think this would be a cool idea. We'll see what it looks like. Let's flip these layers. This is going to be different, I think. At least different from what I'm used to. Do the Gaussian blur on the white layer, and then we'll see what that looks like in game. I think that'll be pretty sweet. Let's delete that. Export this. I don't know, where did I save the workspace for this? I believe it's, yeah, here. Okay, so put in the Android Assets folder. We'll call it Logo. Export. Alright, so if you guys export directly to a folder, you go in the Android thing here in your package, you won't actually see it, so you need to refresh. I think you could right click and click refresh, but I usually just press F5 and then there you go, it's right here. Okay, so let's add it to the game. Yeah, I think GIMP is pretty good too. Sorry, I saw your message a while ago, I'm just responding to it now. Yeah, I like GIMP. It's good for most stuff. If you're doing something professional, like what we're learning now in my Photoshop class I'm taking is content-aware filling. So it's like you can remove an object and then move it somewhere else, and then in the space where they used to be, you can use this content-aware fill, and it's going to use like the image around it and kind of figure out using an algorithm what it should look like there. And a lot of the times it's pretty accurate. It's kind of cool. Not always. You usually have to come and fix it up. But I've yet to see something like that with GIMP. Okay. So the main menu. Okay, let's just draw it here. Alright, so let's create some constants here for the buttons. Well, might as well put them besides these ones. So private static final int logo width. Okay, so those things are like, let's do 400, and then the height we'll do 250. Then we also have to get a Y for where it's going to be. So that's at 230. So let's put it a decent amount over it. Let's just say 300 sounds good. Okay, let's actually render it. Game.batch.draw. Oh, we actually have to create the texture. material logo.png. At least I'm pretty sure we said it as a PNG. Okay, the X we need to use the calculation, so space game.width, because we're going to center it, divided by 2, minus logo width divided by 2. Then the Y we're going to put logo Y, and then width and height, logo width and logo height. Alright, so let's see how this actually looks in the end. Okay, so I have to put it higher, but I think that's pretty cool. I might actually try to make it the same color as the background, or at least something similar. Yeah, I forgot my calculator. So let's just make it higher for now. It does look kind of weird, I have to say. But I don't know, I think it's unique. Yeah, that's cool. Let's just keep it like that. Alright, so actually, this is pretty much all I have on my to-do list. And so far, it doesn't seem like we have any ideas for more stuff to add. And also, we don't really have any ideas for a new tutorial series. So what I'm going to do, since it's ending pretty early, I think that I'm going to start another stream in a little bit, probably playing a game or something. I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe not. But yeah, if you guys get any ideas for the actual tutorial series, the next one, probably something a little bit that takes a little bit more skill. So maybe we can do something like Archipelago, but maybe a bit simpler. We can do some basic networking, but if we do networking, we should also make the game simple, because the networking can be complicated in itself. Or we can do some RPG like Archipelago, or I don't know, or something a little different from Archipelago. I don't want to feel like I'm making two of the same game. Anyways, if you guys have ideas, you can leave it in the comments. This video is being recorded live, but you can still leave comments and I'll be able to see them later once this video is saved. So yeah, I'm gonna put the outro thing, and so yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'm so happy that everyone seems to be enjoying this tutorial series, even though it's done now. But we're gonna start a new one, and I'm glad that I'm glad with all the feedback I've been getting on this. You guys really seem to be interested in it, and you seem to be learning quite a bit, which is pretty much the whole goal of this. So thank you guys for watching, and I really mean that sincerely. And also, we're getting really close to like 300 subscribers. It's crazy how fast it's growing. So if you like this video / live stream, please leave a like, and we'll catch you. Probably the next video will be something related to Archipelago, like maybe even an update. I'm not exactly sure when that's coming out, but I guess we'll see. So we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.